To the K. To the K.
So, Crown Jewel happened a while ago. Remember that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a couple of months back now. I enjoyed it, I think.
Should we talk about it?
Yeah, you can do.
Eventually.
Sure.
Finally.
Yeah, what actually happened?
Fuck if I know. Yeah, let's talk about it, shall we?
All right, then.
So, let's talk about the match that I didn't watch, the pre-show.
Well, I didn't watch it either.
Yeah,
That guy kicked the other guy.
let's put it in there just because it was a match and it happened. But did we really think JD McDonald's was going to
No.
beat Sami Zayn?
No, we didn't.
No. And he didn't.
How did Sami Zayn in the pre-show now?
Yeah,
He was
pretty
fucking
bad.
white hot. at some point,
Considering, like, all that stuff at, like, Elimination Chamber and, like, how
Like, it was like the pivotal story
he was.
for like what, at least 3 pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Was around the saga between Sami and the Bloodline, and what have we got now? This.
Pre-show Sami. Sami Zayn forever? I think not. Yeah, that was a
But
shame.
yeah, I mean, predictable result, and a real shame that he was here on the pre-show.
Indeed. So let's go into the main card, shall we? What a banger to open things with.
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre.
I mean, you were always going to say that.
challenging Seth Freakin Rollins.
Were you happy with the opener? I know people always want to be on first or on last, but were you happy with this being the opener?
I was, because I got to watch it live and uninterrupted, which was
Nice.
good. Because
Nice.
then after that, like, there was people in the house and stuff. So I got to see this one.
I
Tried to
didn't
get
know any
me,
of the people that.
tried to get my son into it because he's got both Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins figures. He wasn't as into it. He just needs some education. You know what I mean? He needs to understand the
Seth
greatness of
Rollins
Drew.
figure. You pull the string on his back and he just does a laugh.
If that's not a thing, it should be a thing. What would the Drew McIntyre? It's not talking, but you just press a button and it's just it's sword
Inaudible Scott.
Yeah, you cunt. But yeah, so awesome match. I was very sports entertained. I never really thought Drew was going to lose. So I wasn't really surprised that he did. That didn't make sense. I never really thought Drew was going to
You
win.
didn't think Drew was going to lose, so
Yeah.
you weren't surprised that he did.
Yeah. Yeah. So I didn't think Drew was going to win. So I wasn't
Well,
surprised.
I get what
that he
you're saying.
didn't.
I don't think this was the time for Seth. I don't think anyone thought it was the time
No.
for Seth.
But
So-
there was a couple of times, a couple of false finishes in there
And
where I was
that's-
like, oh,
when-
he's actually won it.
When you've got a match that's like somewhat predictable, that's what you want, isn't it? You want near falls where you go, hang on a minute.
Yeah, and I think they did a nice job in such a short amount of time of building up the fact that he hasn't won it in front of a crowd before, and like, you know, maybe this is the crowd he's going to do it in front of, kind of thing. And it was like, oh, maybe it is, but it wasn't. And now it seems like we're getting Healy Drew. Healy Drew.
That sounds like a Vince McMahon gimmick because
Kind
he's
of like
got them
Steely Dan,
shoes.
but Healy
He's got
Drew.
them shoes with the wheels in.
That's the one. Book it. I would love to see that. I wouldn't, please don't. But yeah. So based on Raw the following night, he basically rocked up to the arena and then drove off all sad.
So why did he rock up?
Well, exactly. I just don't think he was expected to be hounded by press as soon as he
I-
got there.
I mean, they hired the press though.
Yeah, to be fair.
I prefer like the Braun Strowman unhappy where he just goes out to the car park and flips cars for a while.
Yeah.
And they're just like, he tired himself out.
Just makes train noises.
Mm.
So maybe I'll do that for a bit. But I'd quite like to see just a ruthless Drew McIntyre just comes in, just stabs people, just let you
You
chop
said it
people's
now.
heads off.
You said it now. That's going to be part of his title card. Nothing. Ruthless Drew McIntyre against Seth Freakin Rollins, because that's what we got to do now.
Maybe. But yeah, I was a bit disappointed we didn't get his Broken Dreams music. He was hinting at it. Didn't get it.
It sounds like though he really wants the music back.
So do we.
I don't know what the hold up is,
Me neither.
because I mean his current theme is not iconic, recognizable.
Pretty much goes with that.
Like the
Iconic.
version Pee Wee Herman did or something.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't mind his current theme, but it's not Broken Dreams, you know.
No, it's not broken.
Yeah, my dreams are broken because Drew did not win. But fair play to Seth. He retains. And let's see what's next for him. Moving on from this, we got a fatal 5-way match again. Bit pointless, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yes,
So Rhea
it was.
Ripley defended. She retained. It was a match and it happened. Interestingly enough, we had Zoe Stark in this match. Didn't get the
Did
job
we?
done. And now she's the number one contender because she won another match, a Battle Royal, to now win. So it's like, okay, so you couldn't get it done when it was with another
Look,
4.
I don't want to be this guy, right? But I feel like Zoe Stark is a thing that WWE definitely wants to happen,
Yeah.
but it's just not happening. You know,
No, like they've put a lot behind it. They put it with Trish.
the thing.
We've had
But if you're not going to be over on the back of the whole Trish stuff, which kind of ended randomly if you think about it, like, you're just not going to be over. Like, people aren't like, yeah, I want her to win the match, or I want to see that, like, her versus Rhea Ripley is not a match people are crying out for.
No. It's not, unfortunately. And I get they need to make new stars. I understand all that, but I don't know what...
Okay. Make new stars, right? They've put... we're going to get some controversy with this, but they put Jade Cargill into irrelevance right now, right? And people like defending it, like, oh, no, yeah, I think WWE are doing the right thing, taking their time with it. It's like, yeah, taking the time with someone who's established as a credible star and they hyped up to fuck, and then you just put her on NXT doing not really much. When if she'd have come up with a rocket under her ass and gone straight for Rhea Ripley, she'd have been more over than she is more over than Zoe Stark.
Well, yeah.
All due respect.
Yeah.
Right? So no, like, you clearly Zoe, it's not Zoe's time. They're not, the crowd aren't behind it. But you could have just threw Jade at this, no problem at all.
Yeah. I think there's a massive title problem with WWE at the minute, in the sense of, other than the next one, which we'll talk about with the the US title. Like, IC title, Gunther, there's no one who's like credible.
IC title?
IC title. But Gunther, there's no one credible challenging for him. Like, Rhea Ripley, no one credible. Roman, no one credible. Seth still holding on to his. Is there any others? Yeah, who's the other women's champ? Iyo. Yeah, maybe. I
like what they're doing with Iyo. We'll talk about that.
We'll come to that. But do you know what I mean? Though, like, everyone that goes up against him, you never really think, oh, it could change hands here. So it's kind of like,
but like, annoyingly, they seem to be building more towards Rhea and Nia. Right? Oh no, is it Becky and Nia now? I lose track of what's
going on. It's Becky and Xia. So you're close. Xia Li and Becky, you've got a thing going at the minute.
I just remember there being a segment between Becky and Nia, but that might not have been recently. She's been quite good with that.
Oh, it was. Yeah, it was actually. Yeah, it was recently, wasn't it? Because she said something like, yeah, she said
about getting fired.
Yeah.
Anyway, but it's like, I don't know. Like, for me, the match is there, the feud is there, and they're probably going to take that long that no one's really going to give a shit about Jade and Rhea by the time it comes around. When she should be on the main roster. I don't care. There's a few exceptions to the NXT system, and Jade Cargill is one of them. Yeah, and I know a lot of people are like, no, it's a good thing. It's a good thing that WWE have decided to take the time. No, it's not.
I don't know.
If they'd have brought Cody into NXT, would you have said the same thing? And I know it's not comparable, but it kind of is.
There is that. I was going to say though, but yeah, but you wouldn't like. I wouldn't be happy if they brought Jade in and then she lost to Rhea Ripley straight away anyway, because that'd just kill her. I don't think it's like, is now the time to dethrone Rhea Ripley? Jade.
But look at this match, right? Look at this match. You could have had Jade in this match, frustratingly not getting the win, but deserving the win because she didn't get the pin.
A lot of rhyming words there.
But my point is, there's ways of like, make her look strong.
Yeah, maybe. I just think
that, I don't know. I just think if we're gonna have pay-per-view level feuds, it's not Zoe Starks versus Rhea Ripley. I'm sorry.
No, I feel like there's a lack of credible threats to Rhea Ripley. Is the problem? It's not like a Zoe Stark issue or even a Zelina Vega issue. They had a great match at Backlash.
Well, it's more just I'm not dissing any of the stars. It's sort of on that point that they're not a credible threat, and we all know they're not. So you don't get invested in the match because we know she's not going to win. Yeah,
like you kind of had a bit of a mirror match with Raquel Rodriguez. I didn't mind that. You could do something with Becky Lynch. You could do something with Bianca. You could do something with Charlotte, but we've already done that. Just like outside of them, who have you got really? That's
your point is a really good one, and that's why this was a fatal five-way. If we're being honest,
yeah,
because they didn't really have anyone who it could have been a singles match and been a banger.
No, so they went, let's put her up against four of them.
Yeah. Plus they get an advantage because it's Crown Jewel and they wanted to throw a few stars at the pay-per-view. Fair enough. But yeah, disappointing in that sense. There's a lot going on, but like again, we all knew Rhea, rightly so, wasn't going to lose because she's the leader of the Judgment Day and she's fucking badass.
Yeah, I think
it might be... What did you make of the Crow Rhea thing?
Yeah, it's okay.
People are liking the. Yeah. They wanted to keep it. I'm like, I like that she mixes.
I liked that it was a bit of a one-off, to be fair. But yeah, I think we're going to end up getting Becky versus Rhea. It's probably the plan for Mania.
I can get behind that.
So we'll see what happens there. Maybe Charlotte versus Bianca, but we've had that a couple of times.
Yep.
So who knows?
Charlotte versus everyone.
Well, yeah. So then we had John Cena versus Solo. This is interesting. So the prediction series, if you don't play it. So So someone who doesn't play it, who's fucking sat right next to me, 'cause he didn't play it this last one.
You should remind him. You normally remind me.
I did remind you. Oh, I think. Yeah.
Whoops.
But yeah, so a lot of people actually thought Cena was going to win this one, and I think for me, knowing that the actor strike thing was about to be like resolved and things, and knowing he had to go, it kind of I knew he was going to kind of get decimated here, and that is what happened, unfortunately. But yeah, it was okay. Yeah, it was decent. Fair play to John. He switched it up a bit, did some good stuff, but I think it helps Solo massively, let's be fair.
Yeah, it's a good way of elevating Solo, and that's what this was always for.
Yeah.
And that's probably why Solo had to win it, in all fairness.
Yeah. I do think it was a bit over the top with the whole, like, I've taped up my thumb. Deadly weapon. Like, yeah, we get it. But really, you're just hitting someone with a thumb. And I know it hurts a bit. But
no, it's bad. It's one of them moves, though, where in reality, that would hurt quite a lot. And I get why it's a thing. But at the same time, it doesn't have that gravitas. As a move, it's like let's face it, poking someone in the eye, it'd fuck you up pretty much in a wrestling match. But is it a finisher? No.
Yeah, it's like a flick.
Like, you can't really put this up there with like a crucifix powerbomb or something like that, can you? It doesn't have that same thing to it. To the point that he has to like really oversell it. And I always kind of hate moves that like. We've talked about this before. I prefer moves where it's like the RKO where you can hit it out of nowhere and it's still devastating. He has to signpost it, because if you don't, it's nothing and most people miss it. If he just suddenly small spike, everyone will be like, did he
I know, yeah.
something happen?
Oh, he just slapped him.
So he has to be like this. Yeah. And then it's like, so out, like what?
Yeah. Like, which kind of annoys me about Drew McIntyre. We've said this before. He doesn't need to do the countdown.
He doesn't.
That is
Claymore could be an RKO. It's just out of nowhere and you just got kicked in the face by a 6 foot odd fucking heavy man.
Yeah.
So yeah, fair enough. But now they do the fucking countdown and all that. Bullshit. Bullshit, man.
Exactly.
Anyway. Well, good match.
Match-wise, fine. Fair play to Solo. I have no idea where the bloodline stuff's going off the back of this, but we'll come on to that in a minute. Logan Paul is our new United States Champion of the world.
Rightly so.
I think so too.
Rightly fucking so. I said this the other week, I think, hopefully on air, so that I can look back and go, I was right. But this is exactly what they need to do. Logan is going to be an absolute marketing fucking machine for them. He's going to take that belt everywhere he fucking goes. He's internationally famous. And, you know, you already know, you can already see him on Impulsive with that fucking belt.
Oh, yeah. He's been all over his Instagram today. He was showering with it and everything. Yeah. So, like, you know.
He's great. That's great promotional. Yeah. It just makes absolute fucking sense.
The majority of comments are like, oh, look at this guy, like, you know, pretending to be proud of something that he was, you know, he was given in fake fighting and all this. Like,
what pisses me off that stuff, because it's like, but he's an incredible athlete, and it's not about whether it was predetermined. It was about the dance, wasn't it? Like he really fucking did well in that match.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people were like it's like this whole thing of like this. There's like a camp of people who are going, he saved Rey Mysterio's life, which is a little bit extreme, and there's a camp of people who go, he missed his spot and had to rectify it.
Yeah.
And I think the truth is somewhere in between.
Yeah.
Like, he was absolutely good ring sense to catch Rey before he fell.
Oh, it definitely was. But he also should have been closer.
Absolutely should have been on his mark.
Yeah.
So you go, that was both good and bad. Let's not like overhype or over criticize, because the bottom line is Rey never got injured and they both had enough awareness to deal with that.
Yeah. The crazy thing is with it as well is, I know he's like the United States champion now, the lineage of that belt and everything. So some people are disgusted, blah, blah, blah. It's mad to think this is like his 5th match or something. He's, do you know what I mean? He's phenomenal. He's really good.
Even US title. Can anyone be more US than Logan Paul?
Well, yeah, there you go.
If we're being honest.
Yeah. So, I think we called it, and I said we're going to be seeing it inside his fridge with bottles of Prime. I don't know if that's happened yet, but if not,
it
needs to happen. But yeah, like, Rey Mysterio did not need to be the United States champion at fucking 40-odd years old. I
don't know why they did that anyway. No. Like, it felt like a foregone conclusion that it was going to be Santos.
Well, exactly. The whole thing didn't make sense.
And then it was like, nah, it's going to be Rey for no reason. And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
This feels like a good move. And it's no disrespect to Rey. And they both had a great match. That finisher off the turnbuckle was fucking brilliant.
Yes.
So,
definitely.
All around.
Yeah, like, I'm actually excited to see who's next for Logan Paul, as mad as that sounds.
Yeah. Well, now he has to defend his title, so we're definitely going to see it again.
So hopefully we see more of him, and hopefully we get to see more bangers.
Be Rey again.
Fuck, don't put that out into the universe.
Sorry.
Which takes us to Iyo Sky.
Iyo. Oh, Iyo.
Against Bianca Belair and yeah, we had a return of an old friend, if you will, in Kairi Sane.
An old friend.
What did you make of that?
I was made up.
Mm.
Kairi was always awesome. What she was doing with Asuka before she finished was great. I love that she kind of went to Japan to represent WWE. Obviously, the whole NXT Japan and expansion thing kind of never panned out. But it's great to see her back. And I thought it was a nice, one of them surprises where it's a nice surprise and it's got a lot of promise and potential going forward. Surely we've got to push through a Bayley feud now.
I mean, it seems like
she's got a bit of a team around her now.
If you think about it, it was because of Bayley. Bayley essentially wrote Kairi off TV. The fact she's back now and Bayley's watching on from ringside, like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Make you think, okay.
To me, if this isn't the setup for a feud with Bayley, because this Iyo and Bayley, that's going to be the thing that solidifies Iyo as a champ.
Yeah.
Or they put the title back on Bayley and go, fuck you.
Well,
both was possible, but I hope that they solidify Iyo as a champ by having a banger of a feud with Bayley, because Bayley is the most underrated horsewoman.
Yeah.
I've said this before and I'll say it again.
Yeah, there's been a lot of rumours as well, WWE are courting several other Japanese stars. So I think there might be something in this where they're going to maybe do a bit of a faction. I don't want to say, oh, maybe they'll have Asuka in it because she's also Japanese. But...
And it's WWE and the lazy, so it'll be the JWO.
Well, gotta sell them shirts. So yeah, I'd quite like to see Iyo overthrow Damage Control a little bit. I don't know where that leaves Dakota Kai though. I'm a bit worried about her because I think she needs a faction.
Yeah. I honestly, and I don't want this to be the case, but when you look at the lay of the land, I think she's probably just going to kind of peter out. Like, they're not going to make a deal of it. She's just kind of not going to be. Yeah. She's not going to fall out with anyone. She's just kind of not going to be around.
Yeah, which I hope not. I mean, she's injured at the minute, isn't she? So hopefully,
I think that'll be the conduit for it. They'll go into a feud with her and Bayley, and they'll forget about the Dakota side of things. You know what I mean?
Maybe. Which would be a shame, but who knows? Maybe
it might not be a shame when she's back off injury. She can concentrate on a solo run, and they just won't acknowledge the Damage Control.
Maybe they do something with Zelina as well, because they've got a podcast and real life and stuff. So maybe she leaves the LWO. I don't know, but Kairi's back, and I'm excited to see where this goes and what happens from here.
Indeed.
Did we think this was going to go any other way?
It should have. It should have. This is the biggest fuck you I've seen in recent memory, but it's Cody, so not surprised.
Yeah. It was kind of a lose-lose situation here. You've got the Mr. Money in the Bank or Senor Money in the Bank in Damian Priest, who should be built up as this big threat because he should be breathing down the neck of Seth.
I don't want to sound fucking really negative again, but this to me, and I was thinking this before this particular match, but this is now an indicator to me that I don't have the faith in Damian. He's going to do something screwy with that briefcase. Like, they just don't have the faith in him to go for that title match. No. That's why people keep screwing him out of going for it.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to win. I think he might actually cash it in, but something does go wrong with the Judgment Day, and that's when he finally.
I'm a big fan of them actually being able to cash in, win or lose. I hate when they do something screwy. Like, if they end up doing a match between him and Cody for that fucking briefcase, I'm going to be pissed off.
Could you imagine? I'd be fucking furious.
If Cody wins the briefcase in a match, I'm going to be so fucking furious.
I'd be furious. Look, I think we're going to get him winning the Rumble again. Back-to-back Rumble wins for Cody.
You know, it worked so well for Roman when we pushed him down people's throats.
Yeah. It's just, the story's ruined. It is ruined.
It's not finished.
But it's ruined already.
It went from like really articulately well-written stories to just rambled fucking nonsense.
It's almost like fucking Game of Thrones, isn't it? Beautifully crafted for a bit till they got bored with it and went, I don't know, fucking make it run.
Right near the end, like, that last few chapters and things. And then she went nuts and killed people with dragons. Like,
which goes against everything she stood for. But okay. Still not over that.
Yeah, sorry.
What to do with great TV shows? Lost was the same, wasn't it?
Lost. And let's do some spoilers. And then there's a giant bath plug under the island that they have to take the bath plug out, and that stops the island from. And you're like, what? I mean, and at no point did they explain in Lost why the bad guy couldn't leave the island. Yeah, they never explicitly said he's the devil or he's a bad guy.
They didn't explain anything, really.
Literally, like, if you look back, literally the story was he's not allowed to leave the island because his mum said so. So this was basically someone who was grounded.
Yeah.
And they took that shit seriously.
Yeah.
They're like, no, he's not leaving the island. His mum said he can't, so now she's dead, so we're just sticking with that.
Yeah.
Right? No one said he was a bad guy. All he wanted to do was leave.
It jumped the shark for me when it was like, we need to steer the island.
Wasn't it like a fucking wheel you had to turn? And then the island just went, poof.
Yeah. And it was like, okay.
Yeah. And then for some reason, like, Walt's dad, can't remember his actual name. Michael? Was it Michael?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Michael.
Yeah.
For some reason, he got off the island and then was like, I know loads of shit about the island, but
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, how did you learn all the shit? Like, who's Henry Gale? What happened? What's going on?
Yeah, no one knows. So basically what we're saying is we think J.J. Abrams is writing the Cody story.
I'm starting to think so. I know we went off topic there, but yeah, Cody is the disappointing story that we loved at the very beginning that kind of just stopped. It jumped the shark. It's jumped the shark. He's the Fonz, and he's jumped the shark.
He has indeed.
What are we talking about?
Yeah, I remember.
That's it. Great TV shows.
Cody
Another
won.
great TV show. Right?
Cody won, as expected.
As expected.
Woohoo. Which takes us to someone else who won, as expected. Roman Reigns.
Where was he spearing from?
The moon.
It's like, did he zip line down or something? What the fuck?
Yeah, like this.
Very interesting angle you got.
This was interesting in itself, wasn't it? Like, yay for LA Knight because he got a main event, but
I'm super curious about this.
Never winning.
Right, a lot of people are super hyped on LA.
Mm.
Right? A lot of people think he should have won. You, however, have never been a big fan of him in the ring.
No.
Has this swayed your opinion?
No.
All right, then.
No,
I didn't think it would, because again, he doesn't really display a tremendous amount of ring press. He's not bad, and we're two middle-aged men who have never done. Well, you have a little wrestling, but we're never been in the ring professionals, so we can't really criticize. But at the same time, that's what the world's about, so we're going to.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's an interesting one with LA Knight. Like, he's got over, and that's really good for him. I'm happy for him, but he's just so fucking patriotic. But
good for you.
Good for you, LA. But you'll always be Max Dupree to me. That's what I'm saying. I kid. But no, he's not the guy. Let's be honest. He's just not the guy. Give him the US title. Have him in a feud with Logan Paul. That's fine. Give him the IC title.
He should have gone for the US title.
But yeah,
people wanted it, and there's many people who are unhappy that Roman won here. But LA Knight is like the people's champ.
I think as well. Like,
did you see the thing I sent you? That was really funny. One of our mutuals on Instagram put a thing about Roman has also beat The Rock and Stone Cold on the same night, which I thought was fucking funny.
Fucking bravo, whoever did that. That's so funny. But yeah, like, I think we've learned from what happened with Drew. We've learned from what happened with Sami. Just when you think, oh, this is the time, it's never the fucking time. It's going to be Cody. It's going to be WrestleMania. If it's not The Rock, it's going to be Cody at WrestleMania, and it's done. And
then they're going to have like a confused-looking creative team when people aren't as over on it as they would expect.
Yeah, and
there's always going to be people who love the Cody win, and Cody deserves the win, by the way. But he deserved it last year.
Yeah, they've got an uphill battle, I think, booking this WrestleMania. WrestleMania 40 as well. Like, it should be.
The only thing is, when they finally decide to book the WrestleMania and him going for the title again, they're literally just going to try and pick up where they left off and go, finish the story, and that's going to be the whole thing. I'm going to finish the story. It's like, did you forget about the story?
Well, they've already started bringing it up again, haven't they? Saying like, talking about him finishing the story and what does that mean and all that, and asking him. So you're like, well, yeah, it's going to be by beating Roman, isn't it? Like,
I feel sorry for Cody's daughter, to be honest. Just finish the fucking story.
Dad,
it's Cody's George.
I'm tired.
Take a week.
It's going to be terrible then. I'm say, but it's really hard to pronounce for Cody. I'm sorry. I don't mean it. Lisps are cool.
Lisps are cool. That feels like a t-shirt that WWE would have sold in the 90s.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, so it was a match. It happened. Roman retained, as expected. But again, he had to have help, didn't he? And like, can Roman not just win ever by himself? That'd be cool. Maybe just one time.
To be honest, I actually think this is one time, and this is from a booking standpoint. I'm nothing against LA when I say this, but this would have been like because of the way they were booking the story, and basically Roman was sort of cockily like, "Yeah, you've not been at this level." It would have been actually really good to see Roman just dominate him.
Yeah.
With no help.
Yeah,
and be like,
why not?
You're not ready.
Like, I'm not being funny.
Imagine how the crowd would have reacted if he'd have just battered him and then actually said that at the end of it. And you're not ready for this.
It gives LA Knight something then as well. At the minute, he's got his catchphrases and the fans are over. Cool. And there's nothing. He's nothing. Exactly. There's nothing going for him. So
that's what they should have done. They should have had Roman beat him decisively and then talk him down.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. That would have been so much better. Because it would have done all of them the fucking world of good.
Well, that's the thing. He'd have had the drive then to prove a point.
Yeah. So then that sets LA Knight up to have a reduction. Like, this is a guy who only a couple of months ago was losing to random people on SmackDown.
Exactly. this would have been the conduit for an attitude shift. If Roman had have embarrassed him, then he would have been like, you know what? I've been humbled. I need to change his attitude a bit. I need to come back more fucking ferocious or whatever, right? But they could have definitely built off that. But instead, it's like typical Roman and
the bloodline.
LA's been screwed over, hasn't it?
Bloodline. Yeah, like it would have. I don't know. Would have been so much better. Like I'm done with the whole Roman can't do it on his own thing. It's like he's been the champ for fucking thousands and odd days. Needs all the help he can get. So yeah,
it's not cheating.
It's in the bloodline, baby. That's not blood. So there were our Crown Jewel reactions and results. Soz it was a bit late.
Yeah.
Like a week late. But hey ho.
That's how slow our reactions were.
I know, yeah.
Wait a minute.
It took a long time to react to that. Yeah.
It's just like
what did you think of Crown Jewel? Let us know on socials and comments and all that good stuff. And yeah, you looking forward to Survivor Series?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, we'll catch you on the next one.